In this episode, I talk about how much to charge for your design services. Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 41 of the Honest Entrepreneur Show. My name's Tom Ross, and let's get into it. I'm feeling really good doing this show, guys. I'm enjoying it a whole lot. And today, before we jump in, I thought I might share a random personal fact or two. And today's personal fact: when I was at school, I'm a pretty tall guy. I'm like 6'2", and I was always reasonably tall for my age. But I remember I had a growth spurt of about 6 inches in more or less a year, and it was just crazy. I remember looking up at a guy who was called Big Dave when he first joined, and I just thought he was a giant. And then a year later, I'm looking down on the same guy, and I lost all coordination. I was like this awkward, gangly teenager. I'd go to pick stuff up and be knocking it over. I couldn't kick a football properly anymore. I just had these ridiculous, like, gangly limbs, which grew out of nowhere. So, random personal fact to kick off this show.
This question is from Nikki. How much does a website cost? I know it's a spectrum, but a general answer will help.
Nikki, there is no general answer. Like you say, it's a spectrum. It's an incredibly broad range. It's like saying, how much does a house cost? Or how much does a car cost? My car, which is sat out there right now. In fact, here's another fact for you guys. I have the worst car out of my entire team. And also there's a fly that just flew past because this fly hates us while we're recording today. But yeah, I've got the worst car imaginable. It is dented. It's rusty. It's got like moss and weird mold stuff growing up the outside, I think. The side panels have fallen off and were held together with duct tape, but now that's fallen off. My car, I don't even know if my car is worth $100. And so that's how much my car's worth, but there's cars that are worth $5 million. And it's the same thing for websites. Obviously, there's going to be a bottom end and a top end, but they're very, very extreme. I know people that will do a website for like $10, right? Ludicrous. Equally, I know people and big brand agencies that will charge $1 million or more for a website. So the range is enormous. I'm more interested in like the intent behind the question. I feel like it's really a question of how do I price myself? And I think there's a few variables here, right? You might have seen people talk recently about value-based pricing, where you're kind of working out what your skills, what your services are going to provide your client with in terms of value. So I would say go look that up if you're interested in that side of things. The basic premise being, if you do a website for a business that makes them $500,000 in sales on the back of like boosting that and providing a better platform for their customers, you shouldn't be charging $10,000 because the value is completely out of whack. That being said, I'm a huge believer in being realistic about your skills. So back to the car analogy for a second. If your skills are the equivalent of my car, i.e. not that well developed, then don't try charging like a Ferrari. It just doesn't map out. And I know when I started offering design services when I was way younger, I was less experienced. I was less confident in pitching, didn't really know how to handle clients, and my skills weren't as good as they would be now. So I had to price lower because that's what the outcome, what the value for the client dictated. And so I think get realistic about that. And the more you put yourself out there, the market will hopefully tell you what you're worth. And I'm not saying like don't accept every no and get crippled by doubt and imposter syndrome and think my skills are worthless. But equally, when you do start getting paid work, try and push your prices and you will start to kind of reach a bit of a barrier. We've all got our kind of cap, right? We've all got our value that the market defines us by. And I think the key thing is to try and push it, and then don't just settle on it forever, push it over time. So what this looked like for me is I had my lower rate right at the start, but then I went and I tried to look for better and better clients. And each time I try and like just adjust the price a little bit because I think, well, I've got more projects under my belt. I've got more experience. My skills have come that much further. I know how to pitch slightly better. I know what didn't work last time, so I'm going to pitch it in a stronger, more confident way this time. And just piece by piece by piece, I'd creep prices in the right direction. And I think that's what you should be doing. Far too many people pigeonhole themselves. They go, this is my price. I feel relieved that my first or my third or seventh client paid it, and therefore I'm just going to sit on that price for the next year or 2 years or 3 years. And that's really damaging. I think literally like creeping and constantly testing. You want to test the market. You want to push against the market, and get a little bit uncomfortable, because I remember sending emails. There was one in particular where I don't know the multiple, but I drastically increased my rate. Like I more than doubled it, I think. Practically I added another naught onto it. And I don't know why I did that, but I just sensed that it might be possible. I sensed it was a bigger client. And I wrote the email and put the number in, and then I looked at it for like 5 minutes and I deliberated. I felt super uncomfortable. And then I added that little tweak to the figure, and then I hit send before I could change my mind. And then what did I do? I had a panic attack pretty much. I can't believe I've done that. They're going to laugh at me. It's going to go down horrendously. I've just lost the job. I should have charged the lower rate. And then I just kept refreshing the inbox for like the next 24 hours. 15 hours later, I heard back from the client and they went, cool, let's do it. And I thought, wow, that 5-minute deliberation has literally been the most money as like an hourly rate pro rata that I ever earn in my life, because that 5 minutes just earned me a ton more in my fee, just because I had the gumption, I had the confidence to actually test the waters. So that for me is how you should price yourself and price your web design services. It shouldn't be by me saying, well, websites are 5 to 7 grand. Now put yourself in that box. The box should always move. Question of the day is, how confident do you feel about pricing yourself? Let me know in the comments. Hey, thanks so much for watching this episode. Really appreciate you being here with me. If you haven't yet, please do subscribe right here on YouTube. Remember, tick the little bell icon so that you get proper notifications. I really hope you're enjoying the show. I hope you'll stick around for the upcoming episodes. I really want to keep bringing you as much value as possible. So thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you guys soon.